to under high pressure. Under high pressure. Another type of water that we need to take from today's class is distilled water. Distilled water is when you boil your conventional water like some of us do. You feel the water you are about drinking is not clean. You go boil it, then you collect the steam that condensed and you make do. While this water will be pure, free from radicals, free from bacteria and parasites, one disadvantage with distilled water is that it lacks minerals and has no vitamins. So this one might be pure, but lacks the minerals we mentioned, magnesium, calcium, and the rest. Another type of water is alkaline water. This one is, it has challenging. This particular water is equally good, especially with patients with high acidic content. Alkaline water can help neutralize it. But then alkaline water in excess can really lead to alkalosis, which is a condition of high alkalinity in the water, and this can cause nausea and vomiting. So please ensure if you have to take this water, be properly guided. Then we have our conventional well water. Trust Nigerians, this is what most Nigerians drink. And that is why you find a lot of people falling ill today. You find Baba Beji house, the borehole for his well water is just behind the toilet of Baba Akamu in the next compound. And you now find bacteria and parasites from the soil seeping into the well water. And at the end of the day, it has a lot of risks because of contamination with bacteria and parasites. That is why today enteric fever in Nigeria is high. That is why today amoebiasis is high. Balantidiasis is high. All of these parasites plague our people. So please, then we have another one we call tap water. This tap water, if you look at the developed world, that map we looked at a while ago, a lot of these European countries as well as the United States, they make use of tap water. But this tap water has been purified. So it has all the necessary ingredients that qualifies it to be a good or clean water. So that moves us to the next one, purified water. Purified water, just like I have said, is the type the Americans, the Europeans take. Why? Because the normal conventional water have been purified. All the bacteria, the parasites have been kicked out, leaving the vital minerals. So such water is considered good and healthy to the body. The next question we are going to ask ourselves is, how much water do we need per day as human beings to stay healthy? How much water do we need? As a matter of fact, in my previous lectures, I have made it clear to all of us that once you wake up in the morning, 2 to 3 glasses of water before anything, even before brushing your teeth, can help you a lot. It can help keep you off diseases. Now, the United States National Academics of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine have given us a yardstick of the quantity of water we should take per day. For men, you are expected to take between 15 to 16 cups of water per day. Water. Now, the water can be the normal clean water, or you are taking juice, fruits. It can come in different forms. Please take note. Now, for women, you are expected to take between 2 to 3 liters of water per day. That's around 11 to 12 glass cups of water per day. Now, please take note. This includes your beverages, your food. By the time you're eating bitter leaf soup mixed with water leaf, or you are eating, taking watermelon, or you are taking any fruit or oranges that you're drinking, they all contain water. In my opening, I told you how they contain high percentage of water. So if you're taking this and you're taking the conventional and clean water, all we want is that let the ratio be in the recommended form. For men, 3 to 4 liters. For women, 2 to 3 liters per day. When you go into outdoor activities, say you exercise, there will be need for you to take more. When you go out, the nature of your job, if you sweat a lot, then there will be need for you to take more water. If you're a pregnant woman and you are breastfeeding, please, there will be need for you to take more water. Now, take for instance, if you were ill and you vomited, you had diarrhea, please, there is need for you to take water. Now, the most important thing is to stay hydrated. How do you know you have to take water? Once you begin to feel thirsty, please go for water. Once you urinate and you notice your urine color has changed from the normal colorless or light yellow, please make sure you take water. Please, we advise that you take water with meals or in between meals. We advise that you take water before, during, or after exercise. And we strongly advise that you take water when you are thirsty. Please take note. Now, please, one thing I must say before I invite our farm is that some people may ask this question: is there anything wrong in drinking too much of water? Please, let me reiterate this fact. Excess of anything is bad. Drinking of too much water can lead to a disease condition. A disease in medicine we refer to as hyponatremia. Hyponatremia. This one can come about once you take excess water. Drinking too much water is bad for you. Make sure you only drink when you are thirsty. You only drink when you know there's a color change that you feel is not right, and you drink to maintain health. Drink to maintain health using the recommended quantity. Are you getting it? Why? Because too much water will reduce the sodium content in your blood. It makes it dilute. It dilutes the sodium content, and you cannot have a body where the sodium content has been diluted, over diluted. It's life-threatening, so we don't want that to happen. That is the reason for this class. It is because most of you are drinking less water. That is why you fall ill often. A lot of people are living healthy just with water therapy. So please, I thank you for listening to me. I want to invite my brother Fanchilaka to take us to the next segment, which has to do with the dangers of unclean water. Dangers of unclean water. At this point, please, let me invite Fanchilaka. Fanchilaka, are you there? Parasites. When she prepares this food, you now find from the water, the cysts are transferred to the fufu. The cysts are transferred through the water to the soup. You enter these canteens, you request for 3 bowls of amala, 3 bowls of fufu, and you take your soup, not knowing that you have just ingested cysts of parasites and most times bacteria of enteric fever. Now, that causes enteric fever. When you take this food because of this unclean water, this cyst goes into your stomach. As soon as they enter your duodenum into the small intestine, they exist. And when they exist, they multiply by binary fission. And before you know it, your entire colon has been invaded and you become sick.
I want to see your
Please, there's strong need for you to ensure that your water is purified. We're going to discuss how you get to do that in this class. Make sure the water you're taking is neat. So in case you are not sure whether the water you're taking is neat or not, there are places you can go to. We have our medical doctors, our medical lab scientists who will test your water for you. They do it in the lab. It's not just going to the lab to test yourself. You can test to check your water quality. The lab scientists do that test. If you don't know it today. Then there are available test kits that you can use to check your water, the water you drink in the house. To check, is the pH high? Is the alkaline level so high that it will cause a health challenge for me? You need to do this test. And just like I've advised, seek professional guidance. What are the diseases you can pick? I've mentioned some. I've mentioned enteric fever, which is typhoid. So when you go do your test, they tell you have Salmonella typhi, you have Salmonella paratyphi, and you begin to wonder what these medical doctors and lab scientists are explaining. My brother, my sister, you have exposed yourself. And you get this from water. You get this a lot from water. You can get it from your meat pie, fish pie, these things you just pick on the road and eat anyhow. You can even get it from vegetables, enteric fever. Then you can equally get cholera. Cholera. The organism is Vibrio cholerae, is the causative organism for cholera. So when your water is not clean, you are exposed to these bacteria. Hepatitis A is equally associated with consuming food, water that are contaminated. Hepatitis. And you know, hepatitis is no friend to anybody, especially if you know the sister, hepatitis B. Hepatitis A, just like B, is no friend to anybody. So please avoid it. Escherichia coli, E. coli, is another bacterium that can cause very serious illness. The painful thing with these bacteria is that their toxins are terrible. Their toxins are terrible. Yes, because there are times you eat food and they tell you your food is poison. Nobody poison it. These bacteria have toxins that can poison your food. And before you know it, you are hospitalized. A lot of people have died from bacterial toxins. We have dysentery that can come from this unclean water. And the causative agent is Shigella species. So please, the reason why we're giving you these lectures is for you to not toy with these organisms. They are available everywhere. And because bacteria, you least expect them, even as I speak to you, the table you are resting your palm on has bacteria. Your bathroom has them. You can't drive them away except if you are extremely cautious and clean. So we need to keep a clean environment so that we don't get our water and our food contaminated, especially those who are working hard to ensure they have clean water. And one thing again is that water is responsible for polio. This virus have refused to leave Nigeria, especially northern Nigeria. Nigeria accounts for the world's largest percentage of wild polio virus. The WHO have been doing a yeoman's job to get it out, but our northern brothers are not helping matters. We still have wild polio strains in northern Nigeria, and water is responsible. If you go up north, in fact, they are battling with clean water. They can't get it they can't see it to drink. Most of their waters, they go to grounds, dig grounds, some they go to terrible places to get water. Another thing we must note again in today's class is that unclean water can lead to reproductive issues like infertility. We had discussed infertility in one of our classes. So please go back to that lecture. Water, this water you play with can cause serious infertility problems. In children, it makes development a problem. It makes learning a problem. So you find children with learning disabilities. Then water too, when it is not clean, can lead to nervous breakdown and nervous diseases. So please, we will advise that the water you take should be clean. There are different ways you can make it clean. In the market, there are filters that are available and they are cheap. You find some for 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, depending on the brand and the grade. We have cheaper ones, we have middle class ones, we have upper class filters. So I would strongly recommend that any water you have or you take, if it is your well water, get a jar, a big jar where you put it, and get the tap covered with a filter so that the water gets filtered as you fish to drink. So today's class, I've said it, filters help, they are safer, they are better for our children, they are cheaper, they are eco-friendly. It gives you a water that is free from bacteria and parasites, and it is convenient for you to use anywhere. So I would strongly advise in this class that today, once you go out tomorrow, if you know you are not sure of the water you drink, try and get filters, and that will help us. For those who have come down with diseases as a result of exposure to unclean water, we strongly advise that you see our medical personnel. Yes, our medical personnel. Dr. Chooks is always available online. Coach Sampson is equally available. In the event you don't want to use the orthodox therapy, we are here with the new device that has come to us in Superlife. In fact, that device, Coach Sampson will be speaking extensively on it, how you can use that device to make our water super in health, super clean, super magnificent for use. So, but in the event you have already come down with illness as a result of drinking water that is not clean, we have antibiotics, different types of antibiotics that our medical personnel give or recommend for different bacterial infection. Some of you are even aware of some of these antibiotics you take, especially if you have been to the hospital and they have recommended one. Some of you have a long list of the different antibiotics you have been drinking. Now, in the event of a viral infection, the medical personnel have their way out in handling viral infections like hepatitis as well as polio. Then for parasitic infections like gardiasis, amoebiasis, balantidiasis, in fact, all the diasis, and biasis, please, if you see this organism, you will run for your life. In fact, if I'm to give you this lecture in a classroom and I draw this organism on the board for you to see, my brothers, my sister, you will take off. You will never allow these organisms to remain in you because they are ugly to see. So please, I want to advise that you see our health personnel in the house for advice. And Coach Sampson will be coming up to tell you about our Super Life product that handles all these that are antibiotic, that are antiviral, that are antiparasitic, as well as help in you living healthy. Please, I want to advise that all of you listening to me, make sure you rest well as you drink clean water, get enough sleep, eat a balanced diet, and please ensure you take our product. At this point, I want to invite Coach Sampson